Hey everybody, welcome back to the Off Kilter Crafter. Now you'll notice that this video has been sped up quite a bit. This is the first card that actually took me a very long time to create. I started very late at night and ended up even later at night when I actually finished it up completely. So it took me about, I think it was about 2 hours to put this card together, not including the time that I spent on Cricut Design Space as I was creating the font and the text for outside and inside of the card, as well as to cut it out. I started right as I started to weed out all the pieces of vinyl that I was not going to need. So this is where the video is starting at, and this is where we're going to be taking it from. So on this card, I decided, since there's so many letters and so many pieces, and I did not want to deal with having to cut them out and then individually glue them down onto the piece of paper, I decided to go ahead and cut them out of vinyl so that way I could stick them into the card a lot more easily. Now here you'll notice me actually I cut out post-it notes, and these post-it notes are actually sticky all the way across the back. So what I did is I cut a castle shape out of the post-it notes and actually applied them to the front of the card so I could create a mask and be able to keep that area from getting the color that I'm going to apply in just a moment. As you can see, I used another piece of paper to stamp out the dragon. This stamp set is from the Sweet Stamp Shop. Really love this dragon. It is so adorable. I'm actually making this card for Nicole Sweet. Well, I guess her nickname is Nicole Sweet. I made this stamp, I made this card for Nicole from the Sweet Stamp Shop. She sent me this dragon as a gift, and I was very appreciative of it, and I wanted to make sure she knew how much I did appreciate it. So I went ahead and created a card for her using this stamp set. I'm also using distressed inks to kind of basically watercolor with them is what I'm doing. So I laid down the castle and used the blue around it to create the sky, and then I'll go back in using some both brown and black. Now the black doesn't look black whenever I'm painting it out on the page. It actually turns a perfect stone gray, which is exactly what I wanted. So it came out very well on the surface of the card. Now this is watercolor paper that I'm using. It's Tim Holtz watercolor paper, and it works so well for exactly what I'm doing. And right now I'm adding a little green into it so that way we can get some moss growing on the outside of the castle. Now I'm going through and figuring out exactly what colors I want to fill in the dragon with. So I'm testing out different colors, and then I figured out what color combination would work best, so I started to color in the dragon on the front of this card. So the card's almost done now, although there's still a lot of line work ahead. So I went ahead and outlined the castle with this thick black outline to kind of define it up against the blue sky. And then I took a thin black Sharpie, and I went ahead. This is the part that I think took me the longest. I was going through and adding lines to create each individual block that made up this castle, and it took forever. And then comes the hard part of skipping lines, so that way you get some longer bricks and some that are offset from each other, so that way it doesn't look like just one grid pattern. This part took me a long time, and I really got cross-eyed as I completed this portion. But I think it looks pretty good when it's done. So then I go in and I draw the wood planks for the door. And now I'm going through and applying the vinyl, so I'm creating the correct sized transfer piece of paper so that way I can stick it onto the front. Remember, I used vinyl. I actually learned this from Melody Lane. She actually used vinyl on several cards, so I kind of learned how to do that from Melody Lane. So thanks, Melody. Now I love the Sweet Stamp Shop stamps. First of all, they're super cute, and second of all, they are such great quality, and there's so many great things that make them awesome. And on the inside of the card, the saying is, "Do not meddle in the affairs of dragons, for you are crunchy and taste good with ketchup." So on the inside of the card, I actually did, I'll say ketchup stains, sure. They could also be blood stains. So that's the card. I hope everybody enjoys it, and y'all have a great day.